All right, hello, foraging friends. We have a very special guest, Latifa Pache Ahmed of Alcla.
Yes.
You tell us what Alcla means.
We took over the company, so we kept the name, and then we've kept it because it's unique, actually.
Yeah,
it's,
totally.
You know, it takes a few times to remember, but then you won't, there's nothing else that's like it, so.
Yeah.
Which has an
Alberta.
advantage.
Yeah, so it's native plants.
But yeah, we sell native plants. We will collect most of our, or source locally, most of our plant material, like seeds and so forth, to propagate. We have over 160 species of wildflowers, grasses, and seeds. And yeah, we're just really trying to promote the value of native species and to improve biodiversity locally, which, like everywhere in the world, we are facing a biodiversity crisis. And so the best way to do that is if we collectively work together to help restore that.
Cool, amazing. So you've got a background as a medical herbalist.
Yes.
Trained in the UK. I'm sure many of you watching have seen Latifa's name. Latifa's Herbs, her business that primarily focused around plant walks, which was education around you know, just what like we were doing here. So we want to highlight a specific plant that she would love to share today that's in season that you can learn to identify, begin to appreciate. And which plant are we going to meet today?
So we're going to look at strawberry spinach, which is the nice name, because sometimes you'll see strawberry blight, which doesn't sound really very good. So we're rebranding
I love
strawberry spinach. I'm not, you know, and so other companies also have that name. So if you look around, you can find about this plant. So this is a native plant that's actually weedy. So I just want to kind of clarify some misconceptions about different terminology. So weeds, for example, a weed is a plant that grows well in disturbed areas. That's my definition. There's many definitions. Now, some weeds are native. Most weeds are introduced. And so controlling invasive species that are coming from other places is really important, actually really critical to restoring biodiversity. But at the same time, when we see native weedy plants, we should embrace them. Those are plants that are helping to improve the soil conditions, provide food and habitat for wildlife. And, you know, nature has a purpose behind them being there. So it's really great. Let's embrace those native weeds. So I'm really keen on native weeds, and weeds, meaning you may have seen this plant come up just, you know, from a bird dropping in your yard, right? So they can disappear, which is wonderful. But you can also grow the plants from seeds. So we sell seeds and plants of the strawberry spinach, and it's in the new like the families have all kind of been jumbled about, but it used to be the goosefoot family. Now it's the amaranth family. So closely related to spinach. Scientific name is now Blightum capitatum. And so the whole plant you can eat like spinach. So as long as you don't have any sensitivities to eating spinach, you should be absolutely fine with eating strawberry spinach, right? It's the same possible concerns. So some people, maybe if they have gout or something, they try to avoid spinach. So that could be you. Then don't eat strawberry spinach or limit your quantities. But most people would be safe to eat as much as they can. And so the leaves are edible, and then the fruits, they produce these red fruits that are really showy. The flavor is, do you want to try?
Yeah, totally.
The flavor, it's a nice kind of cucumber, crisp vegetable flavor. So it doesn't taste like strawberries. It's not super sweet, but it's wonderful in salad. So my favorite way to eat it is lovely with a vinaigrette, because it is really like a vegetable, right? A vegetable fruit. So I like to take the leaves, take the fruits. You can pull off the whole thing, right? Well, you've got it right there. Yeah, you can pull off that whole thing. The stem can be fibrous, so you just want to pull the leaf and the fruit off, and then you just eat the whole thing, and you get that burst of nutrients, you know, vitamin C, vitamin A, and there's other nutrients in there. And so then you can easily grow these in your garden, let a few go to seed, and they'll come back next year. So they are typically annual. We've suspected maybe seeing one or two come back from their leaves, like from the last year. It's looking like it's coming back in the exact same spot. So I don't know if it was the same plant or a different one, but typically they're listed as annual. So they come back every year from seed, and they produce prolifically, and they're quite tasty and easy to grow, abundant. And like all plants that are well adapted to our area, you don't need to water them or baby them or fertilize them. You know, they grow like in all kinds of places where other plants may not thrive. So you don't have to, once they're established, there's really not much you need to do. So they can just keep coming back year after year with very little effort. So
Cool. And there's really nothing else that looks like them. I had recently had somebody send me a picture of this very same plant. They're like, what on earth is this? And it was easy for me to identify because I've recognized it. I've become familiar with it.
yeah.
I mean, probably the fruits are the most distinguishing characteristic, that bright kind of clump going up the stalk. And of even like pre-fruit, you can begin to see those begin to form kind of in its green stage there. And then those get large and then ripen up. So
you can kind of really see how the flowers continue to cascade up the stems. The stems can get super long and they'll keep producing fruit. Like we actually collected already a lot of fruits from this plant. As for seeds, like we're saving the seeds to grow plants and to sell seeds as well. And so we'll clean the seeds and dry the seeds and so forth. So they keep producing, like they have a very long season. So you can keep getting vegetables, if you will. When they are vegetables, you can keep getting those wonderful wild vegetables all season long. Or you can definitely find them, I suspect, quite easily in your community. Just make sure, of course, that it's a safe place to harvest and, not contaminated by pollution or anything like that. So
yeah, totally. Well, I love what you're doing, what you're up to. As a forager, I think, people come at it with different levels of experience, different levels of kind of awareness, and I think sooner or later, whether it is kind of introduced by a guide, someone like yourself, kind of always thinking about the plants, the plant population, and specifically like reciprocity, right?
Yes,
versus just going out and like, oh, it's just a free for all, like pull, and there are many different ways to reciprocate. But what I love about what you're doing, because what I've discovered in my own kind of journey of reciprocity is planting these plants, right? Like my front yard, it's now my backyard, right? I keep adding more and more. Every time I visit Latifah, I get more plants and I plant them, and I think that's one of the more powerful forms of reciprocity.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, that's one of the most immediate ways that we can make a difference. Besides supporting conservation of existing wild spaces, renaturalizing, rewilding our spaces, removing weeds, the staggering loss of biodiversity is not one person, it's a collective action. So it's collective action that will bring back healing. And biodiversity, weeds do not count as biodiversity, right? I'm talking invasive weeds,
right.
Native weeds. They are our biodiversity is a reflection of the wealth and richness of where you live. And our home here in Treaty 7 territory in Calgary, Alberta, our home is the plants that grow here. These are the plants we need to honor because they support all the insects, all the pollinators, all the butterflies. Weeds will only support a small number. You want to support all the beings that are here that help us be healthy as human beings. And for future generations, then we have to support native species. There really is no other way around it. But the fun thing is it's less work, less effort, They don't require watering. You can go away on vacation, come back, your plants are still there. It's very convenient. It's a win-win, really.
Totally.
So
yeah. All right. Well, that is segueing into our next conversation, which I'll encourage you to hop over to that next video in a second to finish this one off. Let folks know a little bit more specifically of how they can connect with you and get some of these native plants into their own yards and ecosystems.
Well, I'm really excited to say that we launched everything on our website this year, so you can shop online now. So it's alclanative.plants.com, and you can easily find us from a Google search. Even if you search Native Plants Calgary, you'll find us. And our shop is there, so you can buy live plants, and then you come pick them up here at the nursery. The nursery is located in Bearspaw. So live plants and seeds. And we have some sales as well, annuals, like the strawberry spinach. If there's any left, they're 50% off. So, if you don't mind a late season plant, they'll still produce fruit before the end of the season. Then you can get them at a discounted price as well.
Cool. And be sure to sign up for her newsletter as well, so you're notified, when certain plants come back in stock. And then you also do events, and you're just a great educator.
Absolutely. When I have time and capacity, I love to share my knowledge. But it's a lot of work growing, and like we said, I collect most of the seeds. So every year, it's like, what do I need this year? And some seeds only grow really well from the first year of seeds, and so it's a lot of managing all that. Oh, and we are on Facebook and Instagram as well. Again, at ALCLA Native Plants. So
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, Latifa.
yeah, thanks, Malcolm.
All right, hop over to the next video.